Anybody want to talk about waivers? Okay, real quick, because I did get a question about this, and I'm going, they're not getting this. There are, in fact, actually two operable waivers at this time. One is the sunset, and again, this is not the text of the law, this is just my brief interpretation. The sunset law waiver. If you had a special tax that sunsetted and was not renewed, that may be a possibility for a waiver to justify your decrease in appropriation because that special tax sunsetted. So that's waiver one possibility. Waiver two is, this is really arcane, the ERAF shift waiver. This is the one that I think puzzles most people. What is the ERAF shift waiver? If your entity, in other words, your city, your county, if the amount of funds that the state, that ERAF took away, that percentage loss to the city or county's revenue, let's say the city of Milpitas lost 13% because of ERAF to the total city revenues. 13% of that was yanked away because of ERAF. If your library's appropriation drop was no more than 13%, even though it exceeded that 10%, this would be a case where you didn't make the 10%, you got 13% cut. But if ERAF took away 13% of the city's revenue, you can do the ERAF shift waiver. Hey, look, ERAF took away 13%, our budget appropriation dropped 13%, you're waiverable. That is the ERAF shift waiver. The difficulty comes that you need to work with your finance director or the ERAF expert in your city or county to document, you have to document the total percentage loss in revenue to the city or county due to ERAF.
I'd say one clarification on that. So most cities as a whole is 25%, most counties is somewhere in the 40% range. You're saying if it drops no more than or no less than? No more than?
I think it's an equal or exceed. In other words, yeah, if ERAF takes away 13 and you got 13, I think you're in. If your library got less than that, you're in. If your library cut was 14%, then no, that doesn't work. I think it's an equal or exceed. Your loss in appropriation equal or being less than the loss due to ERAF, expressed as a percentage of the total city revenues. I'm sorry. Your situation. Yeah. And it can be difficult. It takes time to get that documentation from your finance folks or the ERAF folk to document that. So if that's one you're considering, please start working on that early in November, because we get in a world of hurt when we get near the end of November trying to work with people on figuring that stuff out. Yes, John.
Say your ERAF loss is 13, your library cut is 15. Is there some? Would you get up to 13? Or
no, it's all or nothing.
All or nothing.
Yeah. Yes, Karen.
The new takeaway by the state for the redevelopment funds. There are some entities that I think have to take that out of general fund. Would there be any possible? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily affect my city right now, but I bet there are some.
Yeah, this is where, unfortunately, you actually have to read the actual waiver text itself and present that to your finance person and say, does this make any sense to you? And they have to document to meet the stipulations in the text of the waiver.
Okay.
So
I just wondered about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to give a very simple explanation, but to really do this, you have to really read this rather convoluted language and work with your finance folks to see if it's a workable solution or not. Oftentimes I get asked, isn't there a waiver if I don't meet maintenance of effort? I just got that question. What's the waiver if you don't meet maintenance of effort? And the truth is there is no waiver. Other than the two I discussed. There's no general, some of you do in fact sometimes do not meet maintenance of effort, and that's just the way that it is some years. Okay, thank you. I will take my pile.
Thank you, Ira. Thank you for coming back. So we have an option here we have two more action items. One is the PLP budget and the other for this coming year, and the other is the plan of service, the COSA plan of service. Is it your pleasure we finish those up and then break for lunch and then you can depart? I hear see nodding. Anybody object? If so, they can go to the bathroom while we do this. Okay, so we're going to talk about the budget.